In Dark Gothic, players must hunt down a series of increasingly difficult villains that are terrorizing the countryside before the land is consumed in shadows. Though the heroes must generally work cooperatively as a group to stop the villains from overwhelming the land, there can be only one top monster hunter amongst them when the dust clears and the final victory total is gathered. Dark secrets lurk around every corner, and only the most cunning and spirited hunter can prevail in the age of Dark Gothic.
Welcome everyone, this is Dark Gothic, a deck-building, semi-cooperative, supernatural card game from Flying Frog Productions. We are going to be using the optional, fully cooperative game, and we also are going to be using the base game along with the Colonial Horror expansion, the Lost Journal Pages mini expansion, and the Werewolf's Curse mini expansion. So there might be a few weird odds and ends that we need to deal with during our adventure into A Touch of Evil Dark Gothic. So as you can see, we're also using the vinyl playmat, which I've had to just weigh down on the corners. Hopefully that's clear for everyone. And let's get set up. So the first thing we do is we take the main deck, which is this hefty chunk of cards. We're just going to break those into smaller piles to shuffle. So this is the main deck has a combination of gear, ally, event, minion, location cards that we're all going to be using during the game. I'm nearly dropping all the cards there. So there's that pile. Let's give them a little mix. There we go. And our main deck is going to go right there. Huge pile of cards. Dark Gothic is not a solo game, but we're going to do it solo as fully cooperative with two heroes. So here are our hero cards. Let's see, we've got like Harlow Morgan, Thomas Harrow, Argo Blackwell, and so on and so on. So we're just going to randomly draw two of these. So our first hero is... Isabella von Tuck, the Noblewoman. Combat 4, Cunning of 6, Spirit of 2, Honor 0. And her ability is Manipulation. You may discard any card from hand to block. And she also has Wealth. All gear costs you 1 less to acquire. Excellent. So we're just going to place her there. Our second hero is Argo Blackwell. Combat 5, Cunning 3, Spirit 2, Honor 2. And his special ability is Know Thine Enemy. The first time you play a minion each turn, draw a card. Nice. So Isabel von Tuck is from the base game, and Argo Blackwell is from the Colonial Horror expansion. So there's our two heroes. We are also going to need that die at some point. So now that we have our heroes, we assemble their initial starting decks. So Isabel has 4 combat cards, 6 cunning cards, 2 spirit cards, and no honor cards. That's pretty bad. Honor cards are like one of the most powerful cards because they're essentially a wild card, but she doesn't start with any. Our friend Argo starts with 5 combat cards, 3 cunning cards, 2 spirit cards and 2 honor cards. So each player, or each character, let's call them characters, each character has their starting deck. I'm going to put the starting deck just there, or their main deck. I'm going to put his on the outside too, just so we can keep track of the decks a little bit easier. Perfect. So now we have to set up the villain. So for people who have played A Touch of Evil and its expansions from Flying Frog, you'll know that in each one of those games there is a one single villain that everyone is trying to defeat. However, in Dark Gothic there is 3 successively harder and harder villains to defeat. And they're random, so there's the level 3 villains. So we're just going to have a random one of these, and we're not going to know what it is at all. And we're going to go with just the top one, and we're going to put it face down on our villain board. And we're not going to look at the others. And we're going to do the same for our level 2 villains. Oh, I nearly turned it over. Don't want to do that. And then for our level 1 villains. So this is the first villain that we're going to face. So because it's the first villain, we can just place that face up. So let's have a look at who we have. Get rid of those. This is the Ferrian Bog Fiend. The Ferrian Bog Fiend. We need 5 cunning and 3 spirit to defeat him. He's a beast. There is a global effect. So this means it's always in effect while this is face up. All location cards cost 2 more to acquire. And then the fight, you may destroy up to 3 cards from your hand. And the fight, you may destroy up to 3 cards that you have played this turn. Awesome. So we place him there. So also in Dark Gothic, we have shocking discoveries that are going to be made. So we shuffle these and set them face down, and we'll talk about those when they come into the game. They go there. We also have our dark secret cards. They're bad, we do not want them in our decks. And then we have our training cards. So these are the ways that we make our combat, cunning, spirit better. Let's separate those. So there's our brilliant deduction, intuitive hunch, our tactical strike, and we can place our honor cards there as well. So there is also a common enemy which is printed on the vinyl, because this never changes, never gets discarded or anything like that. But I'm just going to put the card because it might just be a little bit easier to see because the vinyl's a little bit dark. There we go. Now, because we're also playing the Werewolf Curse, we also need to make sure that our Werewolf Curse cards are nearby. They don't get shuffled into the Secrets deck, they're separate. If we decide our first player, so I have a second one of these dice, so Isabel rolls a 2, Argo rolled a skull, which is generally 0, so Isabel is our first player. And now we put our cards out along the centre. So some of these might have mystery effects or effects that happen immediately. We ignore them during setup. So here we go. We have got Hunting Party Event. A skeleton key. A forged key. Ooh. Some ghost soldiers, that's a minion. Shadowbrook militia. And of course, the poltergeist, because why not? Each player draws a hand of 6. So their hands I'm just going to fan out just underneath them, which you might just see on the video. I'll draw his hand of 6, just in case we need to do anything with his hand during Isabel's turn. So the only difference between the fully cooperative and the semi-cooperative game is that the strike effects on some cards used to affect every other player except the one playing it. Now that affects everyone. And the other one, that the first player, which is Isabella von Tuck, at the start of each of their turns they must roll the omen die for every minion in the centre. And if it's a skull, that card is placed in the shadows. If we get 10 cards in the shadows, the game is over and we lose. So we'll put our omen die there so we don't lose it, and we are ready to begin. So round 1, we have to roll for Isabel von Tuck for our poltergeist, and the ghost soldiers, we're fine. So let's take a look at Isabel's hand. So we've got 2 cunning, 2 spirit, and 2 combat. So that's fairly straightforward. We can't fight the Fairy and Bog Fiend. Let's just lay these out. We could get a couple of cards. So we could use our Strength of Spirit to buy this skeleton key. So that goes in our discard pile, which is going to be there. And that refills immediately with a runic amulet. Expensive runic amulet. Oh, in fact, because we're Isabel, it only costs us, and this is gear, it only costs us 1 Strength of Spirit. Excellent. We could get the Shadowbrook militia for both of our cunning. We don't get a discount on that. Now we could... We could use a Strength of Combat to get the dive and roll event. And I think that's pretty much all we can do. So we'll get rid of those, we discard those, that's the end of our turn. We discard those and we draw a new hand of 6, which should be there straight away. Let's see what we get. 2 cunning, 3 cunning, 4 cunning and 2 strength. Lovely. Let's put those there. Alright, so now Argo Blackwell. I'm standing on the other side of the table. This is weird. I forgot one of his cards. So he has got 3 combat, 1 spirit, 1 cunning, and an honour, which can be anything. And it also lets us draw a card. So let's see what we can do that's going to be helpful. I'm thinking about trying to get rid of some creatures, although plan of attack. Let's use our cunning to get plan of attack. Technically that shouldn't be discarded yet. There we are. Oh, guardhouse. So locations do cost more because of the Fairy and Bog Fiend. And this has a mystery. So every hero may acquire a tactical strike and place it on top of their deck. Oh. There we go. Well, that's interesting, because if we now play our honor card, we can draw that into our hand. So that gives us 2, 3, 4, 5 combat. So the only combat thing we can do, well, the only thing we can do with 5, we can get this guardhouse and use all of that as combat. So that's excellent. Which leaves us with a spirit and a random. Oops. Oh, a harpy. Ugh. So that could be 2 spirit or a spirit and a thing. Oh, we could defeat the poltergeist. Yes, we're going to use our spirit to defeat the poltergeist. We already drew the card for that, so that goes in there. We draw a new one. Dueling Saber. Excellent. So because we defeated the poltergeist, every hero must pass 1 card from hand to the hero on their left. So Argo doesn't have a card in his hand. Discard all those. But Isabella does have to pass 1. Let's see what she can pass. A cunning. She can pass a cunning. She's got cunning to spare. There we go. Now Argo. Oh, he didn't play a minion. So Argo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draws 6 cards because he had an extra one, so that he gets 2 combat, a spirit, 2 cunning, and his other honor card next turn. Excellent. So that's round 1. So now we're back to Isabella, so we have to roll our Omen die because we're on the fully co-op for the Harpy, which is fine, and the Ghost Soldiers, which is 2. Ghost Soldiers is really hard to say. Right, so unfortunately, Isabella only has 5 cards. She's got 3 cunning and 2 combat. Now she's pretty good with getting gear, so she could get that forged key maybe. Yeah, she's going to spend a cunning to get the forged key. Replaced with a vengeful spirit. Oh, there's nothing she can do about that. And it's quite powerful. These red symbols around the cost are from the Colonial Horror expansion. And these mean you have to discard. It's cursed. You have to discard one of the cards you've used to defeat it. So there's not really much else she can do. What she's going to do though is going to buy. Oh, she can't buy. She's only got 2 of everything. Oh, Isabel, this is no good. Is there any more gear she could buy? Oh, it's not going to help. Well, she's just going to have to end her turn there. Oh, that wasn't a good turn. Not at all. So she's got 1 card. Draws a new hand. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what she gets next time. So she's got her tactical strike, combat, cunning, combat. Oh, she's very combat heavy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 combat in her next hand. That's excellent. Over to our good friend, the Master Hunter, Argo Blackwell. So he's got a little bit of everything here. He's got 1 combat, 2 combat, 2 cunning, a spirit, and an honour. He's going to play his honour straight away, so let's get that card. Which is another combat, so that's 3 combat. Now, can he... Oh, he could. Oh, that vengeful spirit is pretty powerful. He could get the dueling saber. Or kill the vengeful spirit. He's going to get the dueling saber with his combat and honour. Oh, vengeful succubus. So what can he do with 2 cunning and a spirit? Not a lot. So I guess that's the end of his turn as well. So I've just realised we did forget when we got him his guardhouse, we forgot to increase the cost, but it'll be fine. We didn't spend those ones this turn, so let's say it evens out. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got tactical strike, guardhouse, combat, honour, and cunning. Not bad, not bad. Over to round 3. So again, we're going to roll for the vengeful succubus, the harpy. Oh, the harpy goes into the shadows. That's our first venture into the shadows, replaced with meeting of the elders. Ghost soldiers, oh, goes in as well. That's 2. Wooden barricades and our vengeful spirit. Oh. Okay. We need cunning. We need to kill this fairy and bog monster. We need cunning and spirit. 5. You've got 5 combat. Right. So what Isabella is going to do, this is going to be trained up. She's going to spend 3 combat to get brilliant deduction. Then she's going to spend 2 combat. Oh, she can't do that. She can't afford it. I was going to get the wooden barricades, but the villain makes it too expensive. Do you know, I think that's all she can do, but she's got some brilliant deduction. I need to really focus. New hand. Spirit. Let's get these keys. Key. Okay, well, I'll do the key next time. Okay, Argo Blackwell. Right, he's going to play the guardhouse, which means it acquires a tactical strike and take it into hand. This gives him a combat of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thinking I'm going to use 2 tactical strikes and honour, so I'll draw a card, which is Poltergeist. So 2 tactical strikes and honour to get rid of this vengeful spirit. So this is expensive. I can't do that because I'd have to get rid of the honour card, and I don't want to get rid of the honour card. Tell you what, I'm just going to play the honour card for now, and we'll decide on that when we spend it, because we can. So we drew our Poltergeist, which I'm going to use to roll the omen die. And draw cards equal to the roll, so we draw 2 cards. Okay. So we drew Plan of Attack and Strength of Spirit. So what we can do now is play our 2 tactical strikes. Let's make some space here. Our 2 tactical strikes with Strength of Spirit to destroy the vengeful spirit. So I have to get rid of Strength of Spirit because it's cursed. And strike. Each hero must roll the omen die If it's a skull, they must destroy a top card of the deck. So because we're fully co-op, we both have to do that. In a normal semi-co-op game, it would only be the player doing Isabel, but we're fully co-op. So, no, we're both fine. We roll a lot of 2s on that die. And that goes into our hand. Oh, Highwayman. Each hero must discard a card from hand. Oh, because of the... Right, well, let's see... Okay, well, we'll discard the plan of attack because we weren't going to use that. Isabel, what are you discarding? The single combat card. So this leaves this honour, 2 combat, and a cunning. Let's have a look. We could get the Highwayman. Good for getting rid of useless cards. If we use our... Oh, mind you, we could also get some spirit. Let's use honour with these to get intuitive hunch. Build ourselves up a bit. And his new hand, strength of cunning. 5 more. Oops. Gives us strength of cunning, strength of spirit, dueling saber, and combat. Excellent.
Thanks for watching part 1 of Dark Gothic. Please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe down below. And you can go and check us out on Ko-fi, where you can subscribe monthly to support Loot Bag Games, or you can just tip us every now and again for a slice of pizza or a drink. Join us next time to see if our intrepid heroes can defend Shadowbrook against the Therian Bogfiend.